Hello YouTube, my name is Stratus and today I want to show you how I made this quick render using Blender. You can get the exact scene on my Patreon in the description. And with that, let's get started. So first, I created the ocean floor using the ocean modifier and detailing it properly. Next, I added in a mountain model I found on Quixel Bridge and placed it where I wanted it. I knew I wanted a gap in between the mountains and the sun to be in the middle of it, but later on decided to go for another kind of idea. After I have a mountain where I want them to be, I went on to adding the skybox to better match what kind of scene I was going for. Then, I went on to detailing the water by making the color darker and adding in foam using the ocean modifier's foam attribute. I also added in a math node to get more control over the foam. Here, I'm adding in a volumetric cube and using a noise texture, I can combine it with a color ramp to get a different type of density, practically mimicking clouds. I thought the mountains were a bit too close and moved it back and added in more mountains to fill up the scene. Of course I messed with the sun, but again, that changes. I added another volumetric cube near the camera to create more depth. I went ahead and added in a cube as our main subject, subdivided it, and extruded random faces. I then removed the middle of each side and added in an emission cube in the middle, which gave us a sort of glow. I thought the outside of the cube were a bit bland, so I made some of its faces the same material as the glowing cube. I then moved the cube into the ocean and rotated it the way I wanted to. With the cube looking too boring, I decided to add a wireframe version of it on the outside, then connected some wires to the inner cube. I once again messed with the lighting and decided on a more foggy, mysterious lighting. With the scene still looking boring, I added in a torus to create a ring and place it to the side. I hopped into edit mode and created holes in the middle of the torus, and then also created a wireframe version of it on the outside. Then I took the torus and placed it in the back of the scene to create more depth and scale. I went back to add in more wires since it was lacking a lot, which gets us this for now. I thought something was missing, so I added another ring on the left. You can't really see it, but once I detail it, you'll be able to. Next, I found these chain models on Quixel Bridge and decided to use it to detail the rings more to make them pop and seem old. I think it's all starting to come together now. I thought the wires were very out of place, so I made them chains instead, which looked better in my opinion. I went back and added chains on the other ring as well. The mountains were a bit dull, so I added trees to surround it. I actually made these trees, and if you want to have them for your project as well, feel free to get them in my Patreon in the description. I wanted to make the rings feel like they're more connected, so I added more chains to connect the two rings together. I realized I made the trees a bit too big, so I went back and scaled them down and scattered them yet again across the scene. Now that the 3D modeling is done, I quickly rendered out an image to use for compositing. Using lens distortion, I can make the scene look more glitchy, and then a glare node to heighten the glow. I also combined it with another glare node set as streaks to get more of a starry glare. And with that, we get our final render. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. You can get the exact image as a wallpaper, as well as getting the full unedited version on my Patreon to see the progress without any cuts. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye YouTube!